London truffles and that white nightmare. Got that Canna Bros. Man, what you hear?
Shout out to What's Up Buzz 2023.
Man, what you hear?
Yeah, alright.
Man, what you hear?
Let me warm up.
Man, what you hear?
Canna Brothers got a new strain, ho. Passport boys with the bankroll. I can make the buzz stack like Lego. Smoking don't diamond, but it look like yayo. A couple grand tucked in the safe though. Taking these trips. If you're scared, tell them stay home. I'm going on that one up. That was so fun. Smoke all on my face. I got that.
There he is. All right. Well, hopefully we can get Mr. Frost back in here. How are you, Mr. Next Up? I told y'all I'm coming live. It don't matter. It don't matter shake, but for me, I'm coming. I'm coming too. I'm here, bro. Recover Garden. Shout out to you. How's your night, man?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Pretty chill.
Would you like to talk about Power Building that, or do you have anything else that you would like to touch on?
I saw you been using the milk. How's that working out for you?
It took away the powdery mildew.
Absolutely.
It's gone. It started to like fall back with the vinegar, and then I put the milk with a little bit of dish soap in there, and it don't even work that good for me. Getting rid of that and then going, bro.
Yeah.
It don't. How does it work for you? Do you use the same application? When you have it?
I mean, I've encountered it in the past, but I really don't, do powdered milk outdoors, just depends on where it's at, in the shade, the humidity, how many, the leaf to bud ratio, stuff like that.
Is it too many leaves too?
Sometimes that can be an issue just for, for allowing, that airflow,
Papa said yourself.
Better, as it gets hotter, really like you start seeing it under the leaves as well. Sometimes you can see it start forming underneath the leaves. You just go underneath and look up, start seeing it form, because underneath the leaves is a little bit shaded and, the moisture can settle under there a little bit better. Down the lower.
I thought it was hard to get rid of. Why didn't nobody just tell me it was all you needed was some milk?
I don't know, man. Not a lot of people know that. You know what I mean? It took me time to figure that out as well. Just doing research online. You know what I mean? Doing research online, saw that people were spraying with milk. I'm like, get the hell out of here. But I knew that milk was okay in the soil.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Milk is different than most other foods and all this. It's very pure shit. You know what I mean? When the cow's producing that milk, the cow's a vegan animal. You know what I mean? You get some high quality milk. Spray it down. It's I think it has to do with like the bacillus. I'm not sure exactly what the name of the of like the enzymes and everything that the milk contains to break it down. You can't quote me, but yeah, it definitely is effective as hell, man.
You knew under the sun that it acts as an antiseptic?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're outside, what's that?
An antiseptic. What is? I thought it was an antifungal.
If there's any pathogens or whatever, or say like you broke off a branch, or you did a big leaf strip or whatever, you can spray it down and it'll basically protect it from like external pathogens and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's like an antiseptic. Like if you cut yourself and you use like iodine or alcohol, whatever, to clean the wound, it's essentially like very similar to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, now that I know that, you never.
As as you doing all that far as cleaning, the plant up, you got to clean your area up too.
Yeah.
You got to clean everything, especially if it's indoors.
Absolutely.
Well,
and
I only have indoor.
Yeah. Like I use Great White. I think it has a decent amount of lactobacillus. Some of your like root, your root inoculants or whatever might have a decent amount of lactobacillus in it, or your finishing products. I like to use milk, sucrose, and glucose extract. It's extracted from the milk. But yeah, milk is amazing, man, when it comes to the garden.
I put it in my soil tea. Well, I put it in my
chicken liver. You can take chicken liver, or kidneys, hearts, gizzard, all that. Like you take all that stuff in, grind it up, throw it in your soil.
Hello, Miss Lynn.
Human placenta, when a child's born, using placenta, things like that, it really enhances and boosts their vigor, for sure.
I've always grown with it, and I realized growing without it, I encounter a lot of problems that I wouldn't like. normally have. Like
Yeah,
milk helps with photosynthesis and stuff. Not just standing like that. Overall, you can see when the plant uptakes it, and when you put it on the leaves, it's does the same thing, man.
yeah.
And I try to. People used to look at me crazy next when I was like, I grow with milk. They were like, milk. How
Milk got
long have
somebody
you?
good.
Ty, how long have you heard about milk? Was it you that was? You was like milk. Was it you?
Yeah,
Or
well, I've never grown with it, but I've heard of lots of different people experimenting and growing with milk, not just regular milk, like fucking horse milk and shit like that.
Oh, that's
So it's
yeah.
just it's
use
just
that?
it's just interesting the different things that each individual may use or have their little ancient Chinese secret behind growing.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right. I find it fascinating. Honeys as well. What y'all know about honey?
Oh, honey is the best. Like anytime
Honey,
I make cuttings or if something breaks off, I seal it with honey. You know what I mean? Just watch out for ants. I've had ants find that shit.
It's
lemon juice, molasses, it's all sorts of things people feed their plants with. It's just like
You can get tree
when
sap.
you're
That's the best.
when you're growing a living soil and you're using fruits and vegetables to make your ferments and feed your soil and shit like that,
yeah, yeah. My girl can't. She can't take the
which doesn't have
smell
nothing
of
to
it.
do with PM, but I'm just saying the different things you can use to actually grow the plant with.
Yeah, you can even take cuttings and put some honey in
It
the
may
water.
seem a lot of shit may seem very unorthodox to a lot of people because everybody don't grow up in the same methods or styles or in the same way. So if you those things, it'll be weird to you or whatever.
Mm, yeah,
So
yeah. A lot of people. If it wasn't you, then it was someone else that said that. Well, didn't say. They were just shocked. They're like, you can't use milk. I was like, I assure you, you can. And I've been having great success. I just never used it as a spray before.
Best to
But
use
this
powder.
powdery mildew
Yeah, it's best to use
leaves
the
over,
powdered milk. But
huh?
yeah, and when you use the milk, dude, it's like so. I'll put it in first and then follow behind with a little bit, spray it down to make sure it's I really don't want to get
Saturated, right?
I don't want to get a runoff, but I just make sure I follow it behind so it isn't smelling like milk in the garden. That's one thing you got to make sure
Oh my
of.
god, dude, it is funky in there. Smell like wet
Yeah,
dog,
yeah,
don't it?
yeah, absolutely.
Don't
Especially
it?
if you spray it in the soil and you don't follow behind with something to cover it up and make sure it sinks down deeper. Yeah, absolutely, it'll stay.
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
days, it's funky, and you'll get a white sheen over the top if you don't flush it. Flush it
I
in.
used I used rotten milk too when I sprayed it, and it had them little white little specks on it. Didn't
Yeah,
even that shit don't care. It'll take it in the
nah,
soil rotten and on the plant.
that's fine. It's probably even better.
If you have colder nights, run your lights at night. If you have colder nights, run your
The
lights at
light.
night. It's hot as fuck. Like it's hot as hell.
You
Like
don't want to throw your shit on the
even
fire though.
without the AC. You know.
But he's right though. If you could run some lights at night, like as it's shutting down and everything, just to evap all that shit off. But like you said, man, just coming out and shaking the shit out of him to get that dew off of him is great. You know what I mean?
I'm
You can
waiting
tie a
to
fucking string to it if you want and just give it a shake.
yeah, I'm get it off.
A wooden stake with a either a string connected to it. You can just pull the stake. It'll shake the fucking bush, so you don't have to dig into the bush, get your arms all stinky and shit.
it, it,
You know what I mean? You can just
it's
dig
definitely
back.
the humidity definitely plays a big role. The humidity is definitely what caused powdery mildew to start to form and happen.
Hmm.
So if you can control your humidity, then in all essence you can kind of control maybe or maybe not getting powdery mildew. But if your genetics are susceptible to that shit,
How would you? How do you know if? How would? Mm,
Well, to be honest, like he just said, like to know if your shit's susceptible to, like, look at what your local town or area, like, and people around your area, look at the most traditional shit for your map. You know what I'm saying? A lot of places they develop, like, like the Pure Michigan. That was developed because motherfuckers in Michigan needed to actually have something that could sustain Michigan weather, and you know what I mean, for their zone and their map, like what their climate is, they needed something for that. You know what I mean? Same thing like a chem dog. Chem dog is very good at resistant powdery mildew, bugs, all that shit. Is very resistant and generous, a hardy plant. So you could take
Mm.
chem and cross it to whatever. Da, da, da. If you get that type of vigor, you can have something that like you could grow it in places that are hard to grow in, like essentially like Florida. The fucking humidity is ridiculous out there. So if you can
Jesus.
find a traditional great staple strain in Florida, your shit's probably not gonna get any powdery mildew. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you
Yeah.
mean test it out in the actual different climates, like environments and
Yeah,
states.
like a lot of their shit be having hazes and all that. You know what I mean? Like a longer, more stretched out, leaf to node ratio and allowing more airflow and shit like that. If you get something that's too compact and tight, you know what I mean? It doesn't allow that airflow and it's just like a big clump. Then yeah, you're gonna be more susceptible.
Will it come back? Is it gonna? Will it? Is it just the powdery mildew is not gone? Is it?
Stoner
Is
had
it?
said he said pure Michigan is white powdery mildew resistant.
So it's
Yeah.
in any humidity, it's not gonna contract it. What is in it?
That
What you
shit,
think is in it?
it can. If you trying to get it, it will. But if you just trying to make it through the game, you should be good. You shouldn't even have to spray it with milk, none of that shit. You should be straight. You
I
know what I
hear
mean?
a lot. I hear a lot about this Michigan this Michigan strain. I might be saying it wrong,
Yeah,
but
pure
I hear it.
Michigan is heat. That
Pure
is.
Michigan.
You want some heavy
Shout out
duty?
to Malcolm.
That's some medical. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that shit's gonna set you. That's the end of the day, but you don't want to be
That's a
hitting that.
medical. Michigan,
Yeah,
pure Michigan.
that's a sit downer. Yeah, absolutely.
And they
Pure Michigan,
made
I'm growing plenty of
yeah,
Pure Michigan crosses. Anything Pure Michigan touches, usually just it's a frost monster. It's like a hash plant essentially. It's fucking ridiculous. It's just
and
dumb.
what's when y'all say hash plant, like I don't really know what hash is. The brown stuff.
Like when I say hash plant, is like remember the other episode where I was talking about leaners. You can have something leaning towards hemp plant. You can have something leaning all the way towards hash plant. When it's leaning all the way towards hash plant, your THC ratio is going to be through the roof. You wash that shit, you're going to get a crazy
Mm,
up to
they
like
said
7%.
Oreos.
But a lot of the shit we like smoking is like the flavors are there, but like
I
the
will
back
follow you
feel,
back.
things like that.
You
So it
got
might
my
be a 5%
word.
wash or traditional for the commercial shit, but for a hash, like a hash plant, you might get a 7% yield back on washing a fresh live plant. You know what I mean? Like it's
So
just
that's
a
what you're
heavy.
talking about. It's
And
the it's the
yeah, usually it's not as terpy as others. It might be like heavy in pinene or a couple of like really robust, like prominent, primary terpenes. Like the secondaries and all that is not really going to be as prominent. It's not really trying to produce no fruit and all that extra. It's spicy, it's heavy. It's usually like a really robust flavor in a hash plant. You know what I mean? You can kind of tell when you got a hash plant just by the structure, by the sheen. It looks like metallic sheen on it. You know what I mean?
yeah. I've seen some shiny ass shit. I
It's
seen
heavy.
remember when I told you Ty that your plants used to look like that? They look like they're shining.
Hell yeah.
They're
Oreo is a fire ass genetic too, man. That's like a real good wash
Yo,
strain.
I
That
had some
it's not such.
Oreos and I had some Oreos and stuff, some seeds. When I first started the podcast and a whole lot of shit from Constant Evolution Genetics.
Mm.
But I gifted them out to everybody because there are a lot of stems. I didn't want
My boy's got some double stuff. I'll see what's up. See if
to
you know.
double stuffed Oreos.
Yeah, that shit he said is very terpy and like it's not like traditional Oreos where it's like all fucking THC and like low terp. You know what I mean? Because I've
Jesus
had plenty of
Christ.
Oreos that didn't really like have that much flavor, but it was hella potent. You know what I mean? So it's like I think the
Where did
Oreo
this
crosses
Oreos? Throwing
are
ahead, I'll follow you as soon as I get off of here, y'all. So what? So shout out to you, Mal. So where did this Oreo strain come from? This is the pure Michigan. So wait. Who made the Michigan strain? You know?
what's that?
Who made that Michigan strain?
Somebody we haven't like we know of. I'm trying to remember. I think
All y'all say
I
it's
remember
fire,
Thug Pug was
dude.
fucking.
No one ever said it's not.
Yeah, I remember Thug Pug was fucking with the original breeder, and it was like I feel like it's a dude who made the not made or might have made the white truffle. I can't remember. Y'all remember? I know they know in here for sure who made the pure Michigan and the Oreos.
Stoner said. Stoner had said.
Max yields. Sheesh.
He said, if I may, I'll give his 2 cents. For newbies to growing, start with stable old gear, run a few cycles, and learn how the plant functions. Don't start with polyhybrids. Polyhybrids.
Yeah, man. Shit that's been crossed up so many different genetics competing and shit like that. Like you want shit that he's saying is stabilized, been worked, and just it's a solid, stable. It's one of its own. It's not like a bunch of different genetics competing and shit like that. Like I
Yeah.
agree. You should be running shit that's traditionally been tried and true, tested, and you know what I mean. No, is known to be reputable, and you get the same results essentially across the board. You don't want some shit that you might find a herm or da, 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 you know what I mean. All type of different. You got like 20 different phenos and shit like that. It's like damn. If you just narrow it down, everybody runs it. You know what I mean. Most likely, if you stress test and shit like that, if you're doing your work as a breeder, you should be finding these. You know what I mean. Finding before you breed your shit in further. Make sure you got some shit that's stable and actually is going to be able to sustain somebody if they grow outdoors. You know what I mean? That's very important. You know what I mean? Usually your
It's
healthiest
okay.
plants.
It got hype. It got hype behind it.
Usually your health. That's why I like running regs because usually your healthiest, most vigorous plants are going to give you your best results. Those are
I
going to be your
tell
ones that
people
are
this.
most. You want to
I
keep the
tell them,
best ones.
no, it ain't even that. This is
Yeah,
what
but
I
I like
grow.
people
Like
that
I've
grow on.
grown regs. I've had beautiful success with reg seeds. I've had nothing but trouble with. Had more troubles with femmes. First off, growing as a seedling, acting off, fucking retarded. Excuse me, regarded. We're gonna use that. We're gonna take that. I'm sorry, Instagram. We're gonna say regarded instead of that word. We don't want to. But it just grows even as a seedling. It don't even want to act right. It don't act right. And then if you can get it past that stage, good luck. Because it seems like anything you do to it, you also call it stressing the plant out. Anything that may happen to it that's bad, something bad's going to come out of that.
Yeah,
But you said if the films are grown right or
yeah.
bred right or whatever,
Bred
tested,
correctly, yeah, yeah. If it was
then
a
you can
good
have.
match, yeah, usually you got to find a good pair. Like two plants that are very similar in structure and profile. You know what I mean? That's usually going to get you your best combinations. You know what I mean? And also you got to look at the lineage. You know what I mean? Understand like if like he was talking about polyhybrid, you could have things that are basically like like grandparents that align with each other. Like y'all both got Girl Scout cookies down the line. That's a little different. You know what I mean? Like that's not really a true. That's not really a true, what is it, like a polyhybrid, you know what I mean, where it's like four different genetics, or what is it, four different genetics all come, like the four ways we were talking about. Kawhi brought that up yesterday, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like different from all different, different genetic lineages. So like if you got like some grandparents coming in and shit like that, that kind of like would stop that whole production. You know what I mean of that, but I mean it's not like you can't have fire genetics. The more they align and the more they're similar in structure and profile and all of that, it's just easier for them to genetically match and figure out. You know what I mean? They're not really competing for dominant genetics and things like that. Kind of like remember what I was explaining with the homozygous term. When you take one plant and you reverse it back into itself, you know what I mean? When you self it,
F1.
yeah, when you self it, yeah, exactly. When you self it, you reverse it back on into itself. None of the genetics compete at all, and they're all aligning, like seemingly perfectly. So it's a homozygous line. That's what the term means. When all the genetics line up perfectly, when they're perfect matches, and you can only
That's
get
what you
that from
want.
from itself, huh?
That's what you want.
Well, that's kind of like it's a good thing for a limited time. You can't keep doing it and doing it and doing it. It'll start to lose vigor over time. Like after the
Start to
third
kill it.
generation, you'll lose vigor. And when I mean vigor, it's resistance to certain stresses in your environment. You know what I mean? Like when somebody
Mm,
was saying, like, learn the basics first, get the nutrients dialed in, and then you start, going into the overfeeding and stuff like that. Like whether you need your carbon
damn.
up, like Rubisco, your enzymes and things like that to make sure your plant is cycling carbon at a faster rate, shit like that. Like for me personally, I feed carbon-based nutrient lines, so like I get carbon in the soil now, and that's a whole another game
Mm.
changer. I even see my yield increase towards the end as I was
Carbon
feeding.
in the soil.
Oh yeah, man, up to 4,000 parts per million. So like equivalent to 4,000 parts per million. Like what you would be like, you don't need that. Like I would say 1,100 to 1,500, 1,400 really is all you need if you were going to be pumping it in the air. But there's a whole thing is like they're not always cycling in the carbon. They're not always eating it. So like the stomata's not always open and receiving the carbon. It's like every 3 minutes or so, I believe. And then you can speed it up to where it's like every 30 seconds with Rubisco and certain enzymes. It'll speed up that cycle. You know what I mean? So it can grab more carbon more frequently and actually utilize that carbon. You know what I mean? You're also going to need like it's going to use more
The
magnesium.
plant
So it's gonna,
utilizes carbon.
absolutely, it's an essential nutrient. Just like your NPK and all that, and your water, yeah, everything
Right.
else, the
Right.
everything else in your environment, it's an essential nutrient. So it's an essential requirement. If you don't have carbon, You're limiting the amount of production and the amount. It's an essential nutrient. It basically can't transcribe as many. You know, it basically. How can I best explain that? Like if you're lacking CO2, I can compare it to other things, but to really break it down, like what the
Wait, what?
CO2 is doing.
Lack CO2. CO2 is carbon? Carbon
Yeah,
dioxide, right?
yeah,
Dioxide.
dioxide. Yeah, and CO is carbon monoxide, and that's what you get like when you smoke. It's carbon monoxide, and when you breathe out, it's
Right.
carbon dioxide. Yeah, you know what I mean? Dioxygen, two oxygen, one carbon. So,
That's not the same.
well,
What
the plant
type
can
of?
utilize carbon monoxide as well, but it prefers carbon dioxide. You know what I mean?
He said, okay, I gotta check that carbon thing out. That just my mind up. But how would I implement that? What are you using to implement that again?
Rooted Leaf, man, their whole nutrient line. Rooted Leaf, they've it's like a plasma based nutrient line. They only use plant extracts, and they just got a
Man,
dime. They yeah, their plant extracts are basically unique types of flowers and things in nature. Like you got like moringa leaf, which is a plant native to Africa that has like super high iron and a whole bunch of a whole bunch of vitamins. They use like jasmine. They grow it on their farm, and they use jasmine flower, um, hibiscus, like man, so many different unique flowers, like things I haven't even heard of as well. They got unique species of lavender that doesn't smell, or it's like white flower lavenders and like all type of different stuff. Man, they use orange peels for their CalMag, and like everything
and
is
they
unique in
bottle
nature.
this
Oh yeah,
organic.
man. Yeah, absolutely, and they're super clear now. It's like when I mix it in a 5 gallon, you can read. You can see the writing on like on a quarter or something. You can read it straight through. It's perfectly clear.
Wow.
Yeah, this stuff is it's like essentially
Shout out
like
to
the
Mr.
plant
Fat
plasma.
Nug.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Shout out to I think his name is Nick NIK from Rooted Leaf. Check him out. The Rooted Leaf.
Speak. Okay. Shout out to
Yeah, they're. I
Mr.
think
Ruby Lee.
they're the future of nutrient lines. You know what I mean? Because if you could think about it,
Shout out,
if you could
Chef.
pump up to 4,000
Fat
parts per
Nug.
million carbon in your soil and not have to be breathing that in, because if you got that much carbon in your atmosphere and you going in there and working on your plants,
Organic
you're gonna pass
CO2.
out. It's very dangerous. You know what I mean? You have the fire department come get your ass. So that's the thing. Like,
Shit.
yeah, so if you got it in the soil, in the water, is getting it through the actual water. You're tying it into the water and feeding it in through through the pots. So it's able to actually utilize as much as you can put water in there as much CO2 it has access to. You know what I mean?
You can't. So speaking of feeding,
Hmm.
is when you when you're growing indoor or outdoor. Let's say my outdoor right now. If I didn't feed it anything, first off, I couldn't have not fed it anything to get them looking like that. Am I right? They wouldn't have looked like that,
Yeah. I mean, you got to feed them something.
right? To get them
You mean
that
the
big,
whole
right?
time, or like at the end, like
We're in
flushing, or
we're just in veg and we're vegging them to get them big and
oh yeah.
topping and feeding and topping and feeding and topping and feeding. Like
You're saying if you
they're not
stop
that.
feeding them, or you just never feed them?
What'd you say?
You say stop feeding them midway or something, or just you've never fed them any nutrients?
What, right. If I've
If
never
it
fed them,
hypothetically,
yeah, right. Hypothetically,
yeah.
if I never fed them anything next, would they would not look like that, right?
Oh no, hell no. I mean, you
What
got to.
what
The only way that's possible is if you have like amended soil, or you're running like well water with lots of minerals and nutrients in it, sulfated minerals, well water, high calcium load, stuff
well
like
water?
that. That's the
I do
only
have well
possible.
water.
I mean, well water is great. You know what
I
I mean?
do
And
have that.
depending on the
That's what I'm
quality
wondering.
of well water, you know what I mean. But the
I
thing is,
didn't
like
know
just
that.
off well water alone, I mean, I don't know about that. Like to look like how yours are looking,
Oh,
that I don't think that's attainable, unless you have an amended soil, like some type of nutrients already put into the soil before either you up pot it into that or whatever, and you're just watering it in, and they're buffering it and having gaining access to it slowly over time, breaking down the nutrient load that you already have in there. That's
shout
possible, and I
out to
think that's a great way to grow.
yeah.
But if you don't have any nutrients in your soil, who you shouting out?
Oh, it was so hum. It was so
Okay,
hum.
okay, but yeah.
Uh, hold on. Stoner has just said some mushrooms off gas CO2. Oh, shout out to you,
Hmm.
chef. But
And
hold
what you
on.
just said is very true. You can definitely overdo CO2. That's why I was recommending you don't go over 1,400 parts per million. But just like I was saying, like with the whole buffering aspect, like buffering nutrients and buffer, in your soils, when you have the buffers in your soil, like humic, fulvic, other, pretty much, you can use like even like vitamin
What's up,
C or
Pop?
ascorbic acid. There's other
Papa
things.
popping
There's a
beans.
whole bunch of different, saponins and things like that can help basically to like you
No
know, uh,
food,
bring
100%
everything
natural, and
together
that's a
and
plant.
allow it to all be bioavailable. You know what I mean? So
Hold
like
on.
he
I
just
feel you,
said something
brother.
interesting too. Yeah,
Go
with that
ahead.
whole
Keep.
CO2 thing. Yeah. So don't forget you can do too much CO2 and you can get leaf curl, like where your leaves start like tacoing and curling and all that.
Oh,
Very true. But when you do it in the soil, it slowly over time is getting it as it wants, as it requires. You know what I mean? It's a lot different. You really can't overdo that. But that's why he's able to push up to 4,000 ppm in the soil, equivalent. You know what I mean? But it's a lot
Lord
different.
man
To
Jack.
choke the plants out. Yeah, you don't
You
want it to
know,
choke them out.
I always thought feeding the plant milk and stuff like that would always, like, I always thought feeding and doing things through the soil is the best for the plant. Like, I could spray neem on my plant, but
Hmm.
my mind goes to, like, maybe we can, like, dilute this and feed with this fucker as I
Yeah,
feed and let it actually uptake through the plant. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
always thought that, and I always thought that would be better. Sometimes I get, it's not sometimes, like even when I give it the milk,
Hmm.
I'll spray the milk on the plants to combat certain things, and but when I put it in the soil, I know it's actually going through the whole body of the fucking plant. You know what I'm saying? The
Being
stems, the
filtered
stalk,
out. Yeah.
and it's in the soil,
Yeah.
fertilizing it. But you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. But
I
the thing
couldn't
is,
have.
I believe in combination. You got to sandwich the plant with foliar feed, and you got to hit it through the roots. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the best way to do it. If you
Living
do
soil.
both,
I think that's different, right?
yeah, living
When
soil
you
is that's the move. You got worms, you got shit in there they can eat, digest, break down. Whether it's you already
so
built it.
okay, so basically, then the plants can grow by themselves. Then, if it's just it's outdoor in the ground, living soil, right?
Oh, it's straight in the ground where yeah, that depends on the actual the quality of the soil in your land. That would be
No,
the determining factor.
not. I don't know if they're talking about outside in the ground. His living bed. I'm assuming
Yeah, he's got to have something broken down, like you got to have some type of compost going on, some type of. If
to
you got
just
to live, you know
what
what I mean? He's like Korean natural farming technique, whatever you got going on, whatever
you
your
gotta be
style or
right.
technique is. You know what I mean? That'd be great. You know what I mean? Honestly, like that's where it's at. The
Stoner
more
says,
the more cabbage and all that shit you can throw out there and have the worms break it down and they micronize it, they break it down and they coat it with enzymes through their digestive tracts and they make it like they basically shrink it down into like macroscopic nutrients. You know what I'm saying? Like they fractionate it down and they
man,
crush it in the stomach.
macronutrient.
Yeah, their whole stomach is like a bunch of little micro diamonds and scissors, and it just breaks the soil down, crunches it, crunches it, crunches it, and then when it digests it out, those worm castings are like gold. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it incorporated the humic, the fulvic, the everything in it. That shit is gold. You know what I mean? If you can put the worm castings on, I feel like you can't really overdo worm castings. It is muddy, some muddy type shit. It's real like
but it's
it's not.
wonderful. I don't
It's
care how
very
bad something stinks for the plant or how nasty it is. Like my whole garden outside smells like milk and wet dog. But the plants,
milk and wet
the
dog.
plants love it, bro. They love it. They're not. They ain't making They haven't had a hiccup. So
That's
let me
all.
ask Stoner Heads that if you go to my page, so Stoner, say I gotta ask you the question then. You have what are you doing to the soil? You, I can't believe that nothing's being fed. I
Well,
try to
stoner
believe
heads,
that.
let me see. Bare minimum water, but yeah, you're not gonna have like ties quality. You're gonna start yellowing and all that. Like if you're just in desert sand, like soil, you know what I
Hold
mean.
on,
Not
so
that like sand is void of all nutrition. I don't. I mean, but the thing is, there's some like sandy soils that have tons of nutrients in it, but it's just like it looks like sand. If you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, Florida
But
has
there's
like the
soil.
sugar sand.
Yeah. There's like
Yeah.
the difference between soil and dirt.
Yes, there is.
I mean,
And I
and
dirt just looks like it came from Mars surface. It's sterile. There ain't nothing there.
so
Soil?
I think by definition it's dirt that would be like super high in nutrients and minerals, and it's super concentrated, like dried up powder. You know what I mean? It looks like
Ooh, so that's good.
well, yeah, if you got enough water, if you know how to, you know what I mean. If you have enough airflow, and I would recommend like putting something in there like some clay pellets or peat or cocoa
Chocolate
or something
420
like
grow
that.
genetic.
Something to give it some type of it has to be able to flow with all that concentrated nutrient. You know what I mean? So
I'm being honest. So said I'm being honest. There is no need to add CO2 into you inside, or I
yeah,
think so.
no, but what he's saying is he's talking about atmospheric CO2, but there's definitely a use case when you're under 500 parts per million, it's not adequate. And if you want to actually have your sunlight
E.
transform, all of your nutrients, vitamins, everything, and the high quality buds and all that, CO2 is a major catalyst. You know what I mean? It's very important. But yeah, if you have like if you're around and it's in your house, you got pets or whatever, like your ambient CO2 should be above 500. But I've had cases where it was under 500, it was hitting around 400 something, and I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? It was really annoying. So I just built a little yeast bottle, and it was just constantly off gassing yeast, a little bit of sugar, and then
Yeah.
you wash it. You know what I mean? You do a little bit of a wash where you shake the hell out of it. All the living yeast will flow to the top. You drain off, siphon off the bottom, and then you just refill it with a new water and sugar mix. And then yeah, it'll keep going. Also add gelatin to make it digest it slowly, so it doesn't turn all the sugar into alcohol so quickly. Because once the yeast get filled with the alcohol molecule, basically they sink to the bottom and die. They drown
Mm.
out. And, so you shake them up, and all the ones floating at the top will be their living yeast. You know what I mean? And the dead ones at the bottom, just siphon them off, get rid of them, and then you keep your yeast colonies living like that.
Do you
But yeah,
think
so
sugar gives off CO2? Or how about
no
this?
sugar
Do you
being
think,
digested by the yeast produces the CO2.
say that again?
So when the yeast digests the sugar in the water, it produces a CO2, and then it could also start to produce alcohol. But CO2 is a byproduct of them basically, like a lot of brewers like brewers yeast and brewers, they'll have like sugar water basically, or have like some barley or things like that, sugars and things like that too, and have it break it down and produce alcohol eventually. But CO2, like they have these little bottles that they stick on the top, and it's like a gasket, and it basically burps it. You know what I mean? It's burping off tons of CO2. It's a byproduct.
Oh,
So
so
it's just like it's an extra
you
in
need,
the alcohol
you
or the
need,
beer making industry. It's just an extra byproduct. They don't really want that. You know what I mean? It's just extra. They don't got no use for it. But for us, we can just have some yeast, digesting that sugar and producing that CO2 in the tent. Like I had it in the goddamn big ass 5 gallon jug. I didn't fill the whole thing. I filled it about 2.5 gallons. Had it sideways and had it
so
pumping everything.
this is next level.
What's up, my
This
guy?
is, yeah, he's like, who's the guy with the white hat? This is next level genetics. He's very cool. I thought you guys would have known each other. You know, you guys are pretty in depth with the
Yeah,
plant.
we'll connect. We'll connect.
Yeah.
Cause I like shit like that. I try to do the same thing, do the whole like water only, but I just I had to have a good enough soil. That was that's essential. I mean, you can grow some shit with just water. It's not gonna produce very much. It's probably gonna be a lot more airy, fluffier buds. But the thing is, you can get an incredible taste. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do some
Pure,
wash
clean,
that was
right?
incredibly clean. It's
Mm-hmm. You
like
can,
from the mountains of what I mean, from the pristine
yeah,
mountains,
you
like
can,
yeah.
yeah. I know what you're saying. I've had some weed like that.
You
Like, oh my God, this tastes like you're smoking the
Sometimes I start flushing 3 weeks ahead, and that shit. And if they're done with all their nutrients, they'll be yellow as hell and all that. But then they start producing them colors and all that. But the flavor I get is incredible. It's immaculate. You know what I mean? But that's a rare occasion. That's when I want to impress somebody. But
Yeah, I
like when
see
I want to just start flushing hella early, and as soon as it's ready, mature, and showing signs it's done. That's in essence is
pure water,
yeah, pure water.
nothing
Or
but water.
to be honest, I use sucrose and glucose, which is milk sugars. You know what I mean? And I also
Milk
have
sugar
yeah, milk sugar.
to
I add
flush.
that to the water. Yep, that's my flush because you got so like I'll use a little bit of calcium pre-flush to make sure my calcium is binding up and buffering out everything else that could be in there that it could utilize, and then last like week and a half ish I'll just do just water and the sucrose and glucose. So it'll be like CalMag. So like it'll just be calcium carbonate which is carbon and calcium. It's calcium carbonate is a lot better effective form of CalMag than like most traditional CalMag. It's not nitrated or any of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's not calcium nitrate or anything. So calcium carbonate, and then hit that with the sucrose, glucose, and then sometimes I'll start using a little bit of the like I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but it's called calcium lignosulfate, and it comes from tree sap. It's a byproduct from like
Oh,
the wood industry, but it's like
I've heard
it's pure tree
someone else
sap.
said they use tree sap, man.
Yeah, pure tree sap, man. It's calcium lignosulfate. So it's calcium lignin, which is like it's a form of a digestible fatty acid, and then sulfated minerals. You know what I'm saying? So
Sky God. Yup.
shit's amazing.
Chef said
Sulfated
I use
minerals are
sugars
strong for
all the way through flush.
yeah.
Really? I'm gonna be. I should flush outside with
And this
milk.
particular sugar is small in molecular structure. It's very easily digestible. It's not like molasses microbe that can choke. It can choke your microbes out. The
Be
molasses.
pouring fix
You
it
don't
with the
have
molasses.
like the molasses. I like to brew for 24 hours minimum,
I
like
know.
32 max.
You don't get to. Every time I use molasses, it be messing my freaking plant leaves up.
For me, I mean leaves. I wouldn't do a foliar with the molasses. In my
Not
opinion,
foliar, but even in the soil, I can't get it right in soil.
I'll
Fucks up
brew
my
it for
pH.
24 hours. So you got to have some type of compost tea, and then use the molasses for that. That's fine because it takes some time to break it
Brew it.
down. It's large, and you know what I mean. Yeah, but if you just sprayed it directly in the soil, in my opinion, it's too large of it'll choke your microbes out. It's too large of a molecular structure.
I fed
That
with
sugar
it.
molecule is too large. So the sucrose and the glucose are small, digestible, and it's very easily quick. You can do a compost tea in 8 hours with that shit. They'll digest it out and be ready. They'll be hungry, asking for more after like 8 hours. If you want to make a quicker
So,
compost tea, yeah,
so molasses is not for the. It's for the
you can use any
soil.
sugar you
It's,
want, but the different sugars are going to dictate how fast it's going to digest it, and the quicker. Sometimes people don't like how quick it'll do it, so they'll use a molasses because it's slower. It's better for a 24-hour brew or something like that. I like that. I particularly use a sulfated molasses because it has sulfated minerals in there. You know what I'm saying? And then hit it with the molasses 24 hours, and then they broke it down and turned that into all type of goodies. You know what I'm saying? So like, you
yeah.
spray that in there, is they're gonna love it. But if you just spray it directly in, I think that's gonna choke your microbes out. You know?
I've noticed me spraying with foliar spraying with sugar on like the assassin's blood from Chef Bud's. It get
Do
fatter
your
and
chef blood
purpler.
cell. Mm-hmm.
They're getting bigger.
Yeah.
Just you know what I'm saying? Milk is
Uh-huh.
a motherfucker, dude. Milk is a serious thing in the plant
Yeah.
kingdom.
It's like a steroid. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, man, I've had nothing but magnificent. It don't matter. I've used almond milk. I've used 2% milk. They say use 2% milk when spraying. Fuck that. I go the whole milk distance. I give them. I go straight to the whole milk, water that shit, and I'm talking about adjust that nozzle till it's like drenched, not spray, miss, not spray, not miss. I mean drench. It's just if you're spraying fucking straight water and milk on it.
Yep.
Came back, and I mean milk took away part of mildew. Everybody knows that everybody I've talked to said you can't get rid. Shout out to Yakka Labs and Munchie. So everybody I've talked to said you cannot get rid of powdery mildew. And I've
Yeah.
had a hell of a time. And I had no idea really until recently. I noticed when I used to use it in my indoor to water,
Mm-hmm.
I never got powdery mildew. Once I stopped that shit, Ty can witness to it, man. I had so many problems indoor. It's because I was like, I kept hearing people saying, "Why are you using milk? Milk." So I'm
So
like,
what's your
okay,
humidity at
maybe
indoor?
this is for another plant. I shouldn't use it for weed. So
So
I
like,
stopped.
say when you first flip the flower, what's your humidity usually at?
I don't know.
Oh man, you gotta get a yeah. You gotta
Well,
you
I
gotta
got to check the. I've have to. I don't. I have a thermostat thing in there, but I don't check it.
You
I
gotta
keep
check.
it back.
That's essential. I would recommend get a dehumidifier is essential in a garden. The more you can get your plants to dry out, in terms of like cycling its nutrients up towards the buds more often. So like think about it. If you feed your plants, right? They're pretty much if you let the room be dry, like say 45% humidity, right? That'd be great. I mean, you can no matter
45.
what, yeah, like 45, yeah, man, keep it low 40 if you can. Keep it as dry as possible because what the plants are gonna do is they're gonna be pumping fucking tons of humidity out to calibrate that off, and they're going to be be pumping that humidity out at a lot more of a rapid rate because it's a drier, more arid environment. But the thing is, they'll go through and cycle their
Shout out
nutrients
Lone Wolf.
quick. So as they're cycling their nutrients quick because they're cycling their water, the osmotic pressure, the pressure in the root zone is high, so it's pumping it up because the pressure on the outside environment is low. When you have low humidity on the external environment, it's what you call KPA, right? Kilopascals. And then you have megapascals, which is the measurement of pressure in the soil. And it's megapascals because it's 1,000 times more than it is, that's 1,000 times more, the megapascals compared to kilopascals. Kilopascals is a very low air pressure. It's not really pressing so hard on the plant. You know what I'm saying? As the root zone, when you feed it, the megapascals increase. So that pumps the nutrients, the water, all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, everything to the tops of the leaves a lot better and more efficiently. You know what I mean? Because
Jesus Christ, next level. Take them to church.
so you want to cycle the nutrients as often and as frequently as possible. And you want to keep a dehu. So basically, as you're feeding, let's say you feed your garden 10 gallons.
Oh,
You want to
shit.
see how long it takes you to collect 10 gallons in your dehu, in your dehumidifier. You know what I mean? That's a
Next
very
is
good measurement. And the faster you can get yourself to collect that water back from your plants and continue to cycle them in, you know what I mean? Just continue to feed them. Don't let them get lower than 50% of their humidity. I recommend that. If you do drybacks, dip into the 40%. I mean, it's up to you because it's hard to tell and dictate exactly how dry they are or whatever. But when you flip and there's no pressure in the root zone and there's a larger pressure on the external atmosphere, it actually flips and you can see your plants start to wither because the pressure goes into a reverse and your plant's trying to balance out and send moisture back down to the root zone to calibrate and balance out the whole system of the plant. So that's when you see your plant's leaves start to wither and dry back. You know what I mean?
Christ, man.
So you
How the
got to
hell do
keep
you know?
the megapascals high on the plant pressure. You know what I'm saying? On the root zone of pressure. That's why people say to a runoff. If you feed to a runoff, you hit
VIP.
100% satiety, saturation. It's 100% saturated. You're running off, especially if you haven't had a dry back. To have your soil get all weird and be all pocket, air pockety. So as long as you're consistent with your feeding, you shouldn't have any air pockets, shit like that, and you should be at 100% satiety. And then let it go down to 50%, and then if you could just keep it at 75, that'd be ideal. But if you could just fluctuate back between 50 and 100, that'd be good too. But just keep letting that shit pump that
Be-
moisture out, and it'll
be-
calibrate your room. You'll see your plants when you go down in humidity. You'll see them just start pumping the humidity back up, just pumping it up. Like I have a chart on my AC infinity meter, so it shows me as soon as I start drying the hell out of the room, the humidity just starts trying to bring it back up. It fights that shit, and then when I see the good fight. The plants are starting to lose the good fight. They're not pumping humidity like that. Boom, feed them again. That's the time.
We got so many. That's powerful. VIP
It don't matter
Plantation
if they're
said,
sleepy. I mean, yeah, it does matter. You don't want to feed them at night, but you know what I mean. You try to get it and feed them as much as you
no,
can
don't.
throughout
Oh,
the
don't
day.
feed at night.
Well, yeah, you don't want to feed at night. You don't want to wet that soil at night because that's what I was saying. The pressure, that light isn't on them. They can't really, they can't move those nutrients. So you're gonna have a wetter soil. You know what I mean? And they can't really. A better thing to do is have a slightly drier soil towards the time they try to go to sleep, so that it's a carbon exchange. They're off gassing carbon, and it's a whole cycle. And if you don't want
Yeah.
funky smells and vinegary fucking smells, being pumped in your shit, don't feed at night. You know what I mean?
What if
It can smell
humidity
terrible.
is high and you still achieving good growth with no PM but high humidity like 65?
Well, 65 I wouldn't say is too extreme as long as your light intensity is high enough and you got to have enough aeration, you know what I mean? You got to make sure that person's probably, leaf stripping, doing their due diligence, making sure they're up in that shit. They don't got the fucking wild, untamed garden. You know what I mean? That would be a challenge. If you don't tame your shit, then yeah, you're in for it.
It's a factor. And he said, Lone Wolf Genetics. I should pen this. Shout out to you, Sky God. Sky God said, good airflow will prevent mold. I know that's
Yo,
right.
Lone
I,
Wolf is
I
the
learned
beast.
that the hard way.
If Lone Wolf wants to tap in, he easily can, bro. That's a pro grower too, man. He'll teach you everything about the
Yeah.
living soil and set it and forget it. You want to go on vacation, motherfucker? He'll teach you how it's done. He's an
A
awesome dude, man. I learned a lot from him. You know what I mean?
lot of,
He
yeah.
helped me simplify this shit out of my heart. I was breaking my back, and he's like, "Man, fuck all that bottle nutrient shit." And I'm at first, I'm like, "Yeah, everybody has their own way to the finish line." But
I
his
let
way, I'm
Chef
not gonna
in.
lie, is like
I let
his
Ty in too.
quality is incredible. You know what I mean? You can't fucking deny that his quality is top notch. And then on top of it, he's not even working his ass off to do it. He just does a little bit of work in the beginning, sets it, forgets it, and just waters through. He's a water through guy. He'll tell you how it's
Is,
done. know what I mean?
It's
For
Ty
sure.
here.
Am I in or no?
I
I
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
You can hear me?
You're
Absolutely.
buffering.
I'm buffering. Hold on.
What's up, Chef?
Who is that?
Chef Buds, man.
Yo, what up, my guy?
What's up, man? This
What's
is the
happening?
first time I've been able to go live in a long ass time.
Huh.
Uh,
It, I'm glad you're here, but it's okay. But we got you, but you're buffering. I'll put your logo there. No worries. What are you doing? What's up, Smokey? Where's Ty? Is Ty here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just chilling.
Oh, okay. All right. All
Hey, he
right.
just said an essential part of growing too, man. Lone Wolf. He said a lot of new growers' biggest problem is allowing the plant to outgrow the potted tin. Hell yeah, bro. Like if you don't flip fast enough, your shit's gonna outgrow your pot. And if you haven't trained your roots as well, like if you don't have like an aerated cup, if you don't put a bunch of slots on it, make sure your roots are pruned and things like that. You know what I mean? If you're just letting it get wild and untamed when you're up, you know, when you're about to transplant. I like to train my roots first, then transplant, knowing that they're gonna all grow out uniformly as well. You know what I mean? So that
I
helps the
gotta let
root
Chef
system a lot.
go. Chef, I gotta get you out of here, buddy. If you want to come back in, try to tap back in.
So yeah, he just said an essential part of growing, man. So
Yes.
I've
So,
had
so if
situations where I've grown in 1 gallons and it had great results, but the speed of flipping isn't like I flipped that shit instantly. You know what I mean? Like it was a couple of weeks
oh
potted and it flipped because I know that shit's not gonna be able to handle being a 4 foot tall plant. Like that shit was 2 feet when I flipped. You know what I mean? And then they stretched a little bit, but it wasn't a stretchy genetic. So 2 feet
yeah,
tall. You know what I mean? That was a short, but it was wide and short. You know what I mean? I made sure I topped it as well. Like you don't have to top, but I just kept it short. I wanted to tame
yeah.
it, keep it wide. You know what I mean? Using the trellis technique, you open it up. You know what I mean? You don't have to
So
frog so hard. Just one net, just open that shit up, and yeah, man, perfect uniform buds. You know what I mean? And then you don't have your canopy, digging deep and wasting its,
I think that
its light potential on the lowers. You know what I mean? The more uniform your plant can be, the more healthy it'll be. And that's in all instances. Even if you grown your shit out, you clone it, whatever, and try to grow out a different way, it's always going to be
hmm
healthiest when it's more uniform. When all the bud sites get the light equally and evenly, essentially. You know what I mean? Like the whole plant is effectively the same humidity, same moisture, same light intensity. DLI, BTUs, all that. It loves that. You know what I mean?
I'm dying to dial my fucking environment in. I think the reason why it's going so good in my outdoors because the environment is doing everything for me. It's not like indoor, man. Like I had no idea how easy it would be to grow outdoors when feeding right and watering right and defoliating and doing all the things, all the things. All right, rather than me being indoors and me, I ain't never grew a plant that big in my life. Just one of the plants outdoor in the outdoor garden. I ain't never in my fucking life. I got goosebumps right
Mm-hmm.
now, and it's hot in this bitch. You hear me? That shit gives me chills all through my body looking at that. And
That's dope.
everyone's like, and even you're like, you're gonna have massive colds. I'm telling y'all, I need to see it. Yeah, I hear y'all talking about it. Goddamn it, I don't put the work in. Can I just let me see it? I
What's that?
never.
The like what? Set it and forget it type, or what you
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
Oh yeah, man.
basically,
Yeah, tap in with Lone Wolf, man. Make sure you follow
I'm
him.
trying to.
Following you, follow him back, after this or whatever, you know what I mean? Or if he can get in here, that'd be cool.
Hold on,
Tapping
let
him
me
in.
see it. I'm
He's a
gonna
great
follow
comedian.
you right now. I
I hope he
followed
has
him
some
right
love
now.
for the show. He usually has some insane love porn.
I would love for him to come in.
He's a good breeder too, man. He's a
I
great
can't
guy.
let him in unless he comes in, or
Yo, try to
I'll
tap in.
go live with Lone Wolf Genetics. Boom. Let's see if he pops in for a little bit. I'll let him in.
He's the
But
fucking
yeah,
home. I got some Lone Wolf genetics too.
what?
No, I had to grab me some, bro. When I seen his work, and I
Shout out to
respect what he
Lone
does, man.
Wolf. I
You
have
got to
no
tip your hat
time
to
to
the.
grow other people's stuff right now. It's just ain't. It's not in the
Oh,
future,
nah, you'll
foreseeable
have some
future.
time to grow some Lone Wolf. I'll send you a cut or something. I got to make sure. You got some Lone Wolf in there. Nah, he
Uh,
has great, great genetics, man. Trust me. He's a good guy.
if he ever came in, I would love to
He
talk to
knows
all the. I
fire.
would connect in this fucking community is what I really like to do. To see everybody get along rather than just beefing and fighting. I love
Nah,
to see us win together. I'd
we're
love to see
starting to
that.
grow up here. You notice that? It's like the community's growing up. We're getting more mature. We're getting locked in. We're taking this shit
Don't
slow.
add lawn fertilizer to your soil.
My God,
I got
hey,
you.
I'm
Flip
gonna
the
write that
flowers
down.
sooner than later. So if you're one day we'll get Lone Wolf on there when he's comfortable. We don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. I did ask. Hey, he's here. I just seen it
He
pop up. Is he here?
Who? I'll
Moan
make it.
just popped up. He said he's unable to join. I thought he came in. Whew.
Yo, back out and come back in, Lone Wolf.
Yeah, brother. But then flip the flower sooner than later. How do you know how do you know when to flip the flower? How tall? 4 foot?
Man, what I'm saying is, if that shit is I would say if it's 5 notes, then it's ready to flip at minimum. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my god.
But think about it. All those branches, right? Like 5 nodes, bro. That's 10. Think about it. 10 branches. You know what I mean? Out of 10 branches, you start getting like, let's say you can leave a little bit more because the
Shut up,
canopy
Pete Chef.
doesn't have to
Damn
penetrate
it.
so deep. Then you know what I mean? It doesn't have to penetrate all the way and waste your light. Pack your fucking LEDs in. You don't even have to have that high of an intensity of light. Just pack that shit in. Uniform. You know what I mean? Like uniformly. Like just make sure it's closer. Like I mean, it's best for me, in my opinion, to have it back off a little bit and be more intense. But if you want to save some power, man, just fucking turn it down like 75%. I don't know what your with the wattage is, but say if you had a 600 something watt, you could turn it down 75% and pack it in, and then you know what I mean. You got it way closer. Your canopy's flat.
Lone Wolf.
That's the fucking best way to do it, man. You don't want to be sitting there with no fucking tall ass plants. Another thing is the osmotic pressure. The osmotic pressure is basically like the amount of pressure, the pressure that it has to pump through the roots to get the nutrients up to the tops. It has to. Yeah, it's an osmotic pressure thing. Like when I was a plumber, what up, my guy? So when I was a
Lone Wolf
plumber,
didn't kill
ev-
it.
yo, what
Hold on,
up? Yeah, we gotta
gentlemen.
celebrate.
Where's
I'm
my
just
bowl? I
making
gotta hit
homemade
something.
food
Hold on.
right now.
You all
I
there?
was flipping the fries around. I'm making homemade
Oh,
fries.
I'm out
there
to
we go.
you, sir.
But yeah,
So when I was plumbing, do you know that like every 36 feet, if you have like a 1 inch pipe, whatever, every 36 feet you have to get you have to basically transform it into a boiler and then repump it back up. You know what I mean? You have to have a pump after 36 feet because the water will start boiling. If you start pumping water up through a tube after 36 feet, if it's a 1 inch tube, it'll start boiling because of the pressure. It won't go higher than 36 feet. Essentially, it'll boil and start to evaporate. You know what I mean? It'll
What
vaporize the
boil?
water.
What are we
where did
talking
you hear?
about?
No heat involved. It'll boil the water. If you say you had a pump that could pump water 36 feet into the air, once it hits 36 feet, the water begins to boil, and then it'll evaporate.
Where'd you hear this?
No, it's facts. As a plumber, I'm an apprentice plumber,
I'm a
so that's
steam
why.
fitter. I'm a steam fitter, pipe fitter by trade. I studied steam for months. I've never heard that in my life.
I mean, just
I
check
don't
it
know
out. You can
what
Google
he's
this. A one
talking
inch
about.
pipe every
I've never
36
talked
feet.
about
If
this
you have a
stuff.
1 inch pipe, as a plumber, that's why you have to like you
What kind
can't
of
pump water.
pressure? What kind of pressure are we talking about here? That sounds crazy, like super high, ridiculous pressure.
So every inch that you add, like the psi, like say if you measured like every foot pressure, how much pressure per foot, even, you know what I mean? Then you just measure up to 36 feet. If you measure that amount of pressure, it's enough to boil the water
Every
and then evaporate.
every every 2.36 feet is 1 psi.
Okay. And then as you get higher and higher, the water concentrates and gravity grow. You know what I mean? The amount of gravity, the pressure as it
It's
grows and
called
gets slower.
head. It's called head pressure. The higher
Yeah,
the
head
water,
pressure.
the higher the head pressure,
Yeah. And when the
and it's
pressure,
measured in
I can
pounds
pull
per
up. If you
square
want me
inch.
to pull up a tablet, I'll pull it up. I guarantee it's on YouTube or it's a common thing. Like people, like
I'm
as a
not
plumber, as
disputing
a
it. I
I
don't
plumber,
know
I
what the
studied.
fuck
learned
y'all
that.
talking about.
I
As a
studied
plumber, I learned
steam
that
and
at like
boilers,
16
and I
years
never
old.
heard of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I work. I work in refineries where water goes up a tower like 250 feet at like
In a steel
500
pipe
psi.
or like a what? Like a not a 1 inch, right?
Stainless. Oh, all different sizes from like quarter inch all the way up to 48 inch.
So you have 1 inch pipes that push your water. It pumps it all the
Oh
way high,
fuck
all the
yeah!
way up to beyond 36 feet.
Oh fuck yeah! Potash mines have so much water flowing through them.
See, I don't know if there's a treatment to your water or if there's a vacuum up at the top or what. I don't know. I can't tell you, how you guys are doing
It's
that. But
just straight runs of pipe. Straight runs of pipe. There's valves on it to isolate it every once in a while if it
is
leaks.
it like dropping off up there, or is it coming back down and the pressure, the
It's
head pressure
it's
is being
going
let off?
from a tank through a pump and then up into a crystallizer or an evaporator or some sort of production piece.
Hmm.
And there's no pump, there's no pull, there's nothing pulling it up at the same time. A vacuum.
No, but for every 2.31 feet up, you lose a psi of pressure. So if you're down at the bottom and you got 100 psi, at the top you only might have 80 psi because the weight of the water's pushing down on itself inside the pipe.
Yeah.
So you
And
got to
like for
overcome
me,
head
like when we
pressure.
use 1 inch It creates too much pressure. You'll fucking bust your pipes. You know what I mean? Your PVC pipes. You'll straight bust them.
PVC's like most of its max rating is like 250 operating pressure. You go over
Facts.
250
So
psi,
it
it's
could
gonna
be
blow up.
that like with stainless steel, like and if it's going into an evaporator, the water is essentially, I don't know if they're cooling it down, has like a fan
Hawaii,
on it.
the tiny
I'm not sure how
is
they.
here.
I'd like to talk to you more about that for sure though, because
Potash mines are a trip. If you ever worked in a potash mine, it's fucking wild.
yeah, he's
A
big
potash.
construction man.
What's a
Potash,
potash?
yeah. They take potash from the earth and refine it, and they use it for fertilizer. It's potassium and salt.
Oh,
It's basically potassium and magnesium, something that the soil needs. Every farmer buys potash and spreads it on their land.
may I ask, where are you from?
We're from Saskatchewan in Canada. We got some of the most
All you
potash.
guys are from Canada. All the cool people. I said that last night. All the cool people in Canada, like, you don't get a lot of Americans that want to come on our podcast or even just come talk. Y'all just come in here like nigga, Canada, boom, is in the building. Like, we're
Yeah.
here.
Oh, we're the
Talk Canada.
same as America, man. Same shit. It's just a fake line that separates us. And
That's fine. Shout out.
you could go to Montana and talk to a guy, and he would be just like me. You know, you could go to North Dakota and
Night
meet a
before
guy
last.
like same shit.
Yeah?
But yeah, my biggest thing with growing is just keeping it simple and keeping it real and letting the bugs and microbes and worms all work. I'm literally doing things like tonight I made a smoothie. I'm gonna put the banana peels in my worm bin, and that's future
Yes!
food. That's all I'm
Yes!
doing,
I use
right?
banana peels too for fertilizer water. Amazing.
Yeah, but I have a worm colony, and I give all my scraps from the kitchen to the worms.
You're harvesting worms?
Well, I'm not harvesting the worms. I'm harvesting their castings from the bottom of the
Ah,
bin. And then I amend the castings and add fresh topsoil, and that's what I top dress my pots with. And that's all I do.
that's all you do?
That's all I'm doing is just amending and keeping the worms happy and alive. And the rest, you can see my page. The plants grow themselves.
Oh, I followed you. I'm gonna go check you out, sir.
He has a
I
dad
just met you
sometimes take
tonight.
care of the water.
I gotta check you out. I just want to see what all you guys do. But Mrs. Quiet Kind sees I have to read the comments. She's the truth. She's
Yeah,
the homie.
got a bunch of 808 genetics. I got a pop here. Got
Jesus
a bunch of
Christ.
808.
I've seen that packaging before.
Yeah, we're going hard on the 808.
Holy shit. They love you.
I got over 60 packs of 808. I picked out I think I got about 6 or 7 packs here that I'm gonna pop.
808, I've heard that before. Where are they based out of?
Hawaii.
No way. And the
Yeah,
dope people come from Hawaii too.
and his
They're not in the United States.
dad was an old weed cannabis lover, you know, so he's got some of the old genetics, and Hawaii's got a lot of really good genetics.
So that's who you like. You swear by those genetics? You love their genetics? Have you grown their stuff before?
I've never grown it before, but I've seen good things. He's produced pictures of proper looking flower, and when I see proper looking flower, well, I want to try your stuff out.
That's awesome,
And
dude.
it's like a full-time job for him. It's not like, oh, he just does this on the side. No, he's passionate about it. He's in there breeding, growing, finding phenos, genotypes, you name it.
Yeah. I've met a lot of people on here that's actually running farms with like 3,000 plants and type
But like,
things of that. What are you
here's a,
smoking?
here's a little pinner of strawberry green crack, and look at the resin ring on this tiny little pinner.
That ash is beautiful.
Hell yeah, that resin ring. Yeah, I misquoted. So it was a study on straws, the pressure on straws. So like,
That's awesome, bro. That's beautiful. You're smoking on some nice, clean shit.
It is. It's worm power. That's all it is, man.
Yo, my
I
fiance wants
ditched
to get worms.
I ditched all the bottle nutrients and pens and all that shit. Fuck that. That's too much work.
I know.
it is a lot more.
I'm not.
So many
tell
people,
everybody
so
what I
many
mean.
people make cannabis way harder than it really needs to be. And you see them every day, and they got their water, and they're stirring it with a whisk, and they got the bubblers going, and they got the tea going, and they got the foliar feed, and they got the, and you're like, holy fuck, man, what? How
Yeah.
time to spend 2 hours a day on your plants?
And money.
And all that money, and then you look at their flower, no offense, but it's not really that good for how
Worth
much
it.
effort you just put in.
I know that's right. If anything,
Right?
you're fucking killing
And
that
then you
thing.
got people telling you, oh, you got to do this, and you're not doing that, and you should have tried this, and this is a better product, and it's like, whoa, man.
I used to be
Tell
like
him.
that.
Tell him
I
as
used,
well that like he doesn't run into any bugs, pathogens, things like that because he's taking care of the soil. He's making sure shit's healthy. His
I
bricks
got yeah,
ratio.
I got predator bugs in the worm bin that are always in there. So when I buy new soil and I make fresh soil to add to my soil, I'm always adding. I add that soil to that, so I have those predator bugs in my newer soil that I've re-amended with to add more because I'm constantly expanding and getting more plants, and
predator
so
bug.
I'm always keeping about a 30 to 40% filled container with the older soil that I've had forever, and then I'll go buy 3 or 4 bags of new shit, add it to that, amend it, take worm soil, add it to that, let it chill out for a bit, and then flower and grow with that. Nothing needed. It's all in the soil.
Powerful.
And
So
it's
is
enough
that what
all the way to the end, right?
Yep.
so is that what people mean or say when they say they're not using anything? I
Yeah.
forget
Yeah,
that worms are
they
in the
got
soil.
But you see what
they
he's
got previously amended living soil where you don't have to do anything. It's like a garden at that
80
point.
bucks.
but he knows his ratios. He knows how like if he knows how many weekers it's going and shit like that, he knows how much to amend it, right? Like
Yeah, and
there's
I
a little
also,
bit
it's
of a
like
math to it.
when you make your soil, it's like making chili. You don't go and add 500 pounds of tomatoes. You add a bit of tomatoes. You add a bit of this. You add a bit of beans, a bit of onion, a bit of garlic. Suddenly you got this beautiful. The same thing with soil. Don't go fucking too hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of the amendments are slow release too. If you go too hard, you're just going to see that your plants are super green, almost blue. You're going to get curly leaves and veg, and you're going to go, holy fuck, I got to back off on the bat guano and the blood meal.
The
Because
bad
that's
one.
way too much nitrogen. And
Yeah.
then
It's
next time you
traumatic.
grow, you just dial back your bits that you used because you obviously used too much nitrogen.
So when
But I
did you
always
stop?
go lightly on the potassium and the phosphorus amendments, and then I do a lot of nitrogen. I also have a fish tank with
Oh,
living plants in it, and I just take a jug of that water when I first plant my clones, and I water once with that because that puts all those microbes into that soil. And as long as that soil doesn't dry out, they're always there
That's dope.
because
Yeah.
the
wow.
soil's full of food for them. So now I have river water plus living soil with worms. I'm done. All I got to do is keep it from drying out, and I don't do drybacks. Only in veg, maybe a little bit. If I see fungus gnat pressure, I'll let my soil dry out. They're done, and then I go into flower. And when I go into flower, I never have problems because they're always healthy. And
How
I'm
you
flipping them earlier than later. I'm not trying to make them fill out the whole grow space and then go into flower. I put them into flower and they look tiny, and then in 2 3 weeks they're 300 to 400% bigger.
Hell yeah.
I put them into flower at the right time. And I understand how much water they need right at the start of flower to explode. Because, like Buddy was saying, you keep your environment 45 40% humidity, they're sucking up more water because they want to feel more hydrated. So now you can water your soil more. And I'm basically at that point playing with the borderline of anaerobic soil that I'm overwatering, but I'm not. I'm right on that borderline of the
Yeah.
plant's getting like heavy rains and the plant never worries about running out of water. And there's always that microbe nutrient exchange between the root and the plant. Always. It never slows
Well,
down. It never gets faster. I never feed, so I spike my nutrients and my bacteria, and then they crash again. Because that's what you're doing when you're feeding. You're just spiking them, and then they go back to where the soil can handle them. And if you try feeding too much, you'll just end up with burnt tips on your leaves because you're over amending your soil while there's already a relationship going on. And you don't want to fuck with that relationship. Once you understand that relationship, you can let that thing just go right through the end of flower. Done. And then after you're done, you pull out that root ball and you re-amend, and then you let it chill, and then you plant a week later and go again. It's so easy. I can literally go out of town and get my dad to come over here and water once a week.
wow.
just dump water in and go. There's no like, oh, check the pH, check the temperature, check the fucking TDS. Oh, add some CalMag. No, fuck that. Why are we still doing that? It's 2025. Why wouldn't you just mimic perfect nature and then just let the worms and bugs do everything?
Oh
So
my God, I know that's right, bro. You are the truth. All that is the truth. I, the
why do you want to
CalMag
give
thing,
yourself arthritis mixing nutrients every day? Why do you want to sit there with your stick and fucking mix nutrients in your little bucket? It's fucking
yeah, dude. I don't even pH outdoors anymore.
You don't have to. In living soil, your plants can
Insane.
live between 6 and 14 pH, and they'll whatever you're giving them, as long as it stays the same, they'll adjust in the soil because that's
That's
what they're doing. The acids and the amino acids and the bacteria and the protozoa and nematodes, they're all balancing each other out and living. And you just got to understand, you're feeding them, and they're living happy. And as long as those roots don't get more than the soil can always keep up with the plant. And then the plant's just good. And that's where you see the true genetics. Just like if I was your dad and you were born and I always fed you the perfect meal every day, your true family's best genetics would express in you. But when I feed you McDonald's and I feed you shit and I try and get you fatter, well, now I'm bringing out bad genetics and you might grow into something different that you wouldn't have been.
yeah, that's right.
And your flavor would be different because now I'm pumping you full of synthetics and fake processed food. Whereas before I was giving you real food and garden vegetables. You know,
Wow.
that's what I'm doing over here. I'm giving my plants real food and letting them decide.
Facts.
Right? That's how I see it. And I see the genetics come out in everything. And because I'm not force feeding and because I'm not spraying them with anything in flour or any crazy shit, the true genetics always come out. So I can tell, oh, this genetics is kind of hermy or this genetics is mutant. It's not
I'm
because
gonna
I
follow you
fed
all
them.
when I get off.
It's
Thank you,
all balanced, right?
Absolutely.
dude. How long have you been growing?
I've been growing since I was a little boy. My grandparents, both my grandpas had gardens, and they would, show me shit. And I've always been like an autistic mind. Like I need to know the most
I got
of stuff. And
autism
I
too,
get
man.
shit.
And
And I've always obsessed over tasty, sweet vegetables and like, how did he get that strawberry so good? Oh, well, it was the fucking compost. Well, what is that? Well, it's just a bunch of mixture of dead shit. Once you
yeah,
understand browns and greens, bring them together and you got soil. Dead leaves and grass and fucking, scrap vegetables.
Let the worm digest it.
what are you smoking
And
on
none of
again?
that shit goes through the worms' intestines. It's just like
What?
plant food and bug and microbes in the soil.
All soil, dude. Are you going indoors or out? I just followed you, so I gotta go.
I'm
You're
growing
gonna be in our
everywhere.
reels too. You're gonna
I'm
be in
growing
our reels.
everywhere there's a bit of light coming through a window, and I just grow. I don't know.
What'd
I
you
don't
say?
really grow though. I just hang out. I'm just hanging out in the kitchen with the house plants. I got a pineapple plant in the corner.
Those count.
I'm waiting for my pineapple to start fruiting.
You're growing a pineapple indoors?
Yeah, in the kitchen.
Fucking fascinating. How are you? You gotta have. It's gotta be like what? What is the life cycle, and how long do you have to grow it
I'm
for?
giving it fucking about 14 hours of light a day. It takes 2 years for a pineapple to like do its thing.
Grow is the light. Shout out to you, sir. Mr. Kauai is in the building. Dark Rain is in the building, guys.
Yeah,
We
I like
appreciate.
growing all plants, not just cannabis. I like growing like rosemary, thyme, basil, and
Yeah,
cooking with that. I feel like it keeps me healthier. And the
I
fact
got
that
them
it's
on.
growing
Yeah.
in soil with life in it,
Mhm. I
right?
ate one of my. I find I. We ate a pepper, our first pepper that we harvested yesterday, in tacos. No, it wasn't. It was in like hot Italian sausage.
Right.
It was. If you could taste the difference,
Oh, you
we're gonna
can
do it.
grown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
Was that a garden pepper?
Yes, it was.
There you
Yes, it
go.
was.
You could
I saw
taste
her
the
eat.
life in it, right? You could taste the
Yeah,
nutrients, the sugars.
My
You can
fiance
feel
eats
it.
the peas in the pot. Just eats it right out. I'm like, oh,
Damn.
I can't.
You feel so
What
much
is,
better when you eat straight out of the garden.
what is that?
I gotta
That
go
was
and harvest
tasty.
my. I got purple potatoes growing in my garden. They're from Ukraine. They're
Oh,
passed down potatoes for like the last 100 years. They're very rare. I've been growing them for about 8 years in my backyard now, and every year I
eight
save six.
years. You see how transparent he is? You see how honest this guy's been? This is what we love when you come on the podcast, brother. Like
I got,
you're just being true to you and dropping that knowledge. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Damn it,
my
how long
purple.
have we been live?
Almost an hour.
This is fire, bro.
Hell yeah.
This is absolutely fire. Oh.
Here's the pheno tent I'm hunting from seed. These are all in 3-gallon and 1-gallon pots.
Empire, shout out and follow you. That's
Water
beautiful.
only. Just hanging out. I got a whole bunch of different shit going on in here.
Is it living soil?
It's,
Yeah, they're all. That's all I
That's
grow. Like I just mimic perfect nature. Here's my banana tree.
oh my god.
I got a
These are
banana
things
growing.
I haven't seen actual people grow. Oh, I want to grow one.
There's some Twang F2 in the back there. That's my keeper of Twang F2.
You're gonna make me grow one.
I just have it hanging out there. Yeah, this is a. I think this is a Filipino mini banana tree.
it's fire.
And I'm
Cali
gonna be
Gas,
getting
shout out
bananas.
to
Hopefully by Christmas, I get a a little bunch of bananas coming out there. I gotta throw it in. It's only in a 5-gallon. I'm gonna put it in a 10-gallon because I got a bunch of them just sitting here.
They say Canada got the best smoke.
Yeah, I got a
Super
20. I got a
herpy
26-year-old
joints.
cutting of purple Kush that I've smoked as a young teenager, and I've been looking for this cutting for since I started growing. It's like a bucket list cutting. It's right here. This is purple Kush Canadian coffee cut. This is still to this day some of the dankest weed I've ever smoked. And I'm
Jesus, I
hoping it's the
believe you.
one that Buddy's
I
like,
believe
this is
you.
the one.
Does
But
it
look at
produce
that.
a ring
That's a
of purple?
20.
Does it have like a purple ring on the inside of the buds?
It's some of the dankest shit I've ever smoked.
You know what I mean, though? Because I've had a purple kush that was incredible like that. Like when you crack the bud open, it had a ring of purple on the inside, not the
Oh
outside.
yeah, like this is straight up
Like it was
purple,
a
purple.
ring. You know what I mean?
And it's just got that real, almost like rosemary, mahogany, crazy dankness to it. That's
Yeah,
just like
that's a
She's
really well
beautiful.
worked fucking genetic.
yeah. And then
Perfect.
here's my dead hot strawberry in a 30-gallon. See, I'm pushing my veg. I should be in flower right now, but I'm waiting for my purple kush to grow bigger because she was way smaller than the other girls. There's strawberry diesel cookies. That's in a 30-gallon. Then in the
Yes, they're
back's my
so pretty.
That's my Justina OG in the back. I crossed this dead hot strawberries with my Doe Scotty Wilson, and I created this flavor queen right here. She's beautiful. I call her Justina. But yeah, there's four plants in here, and they're all in their own 30-gallon pot. I water them once a week.
They're so
In
pretty.
flower, in flower, they're probably every 3 or 4 days. I gotta water them.
Fuck yeah.
I want some living soil in my
Yeah.
indoor now.
Oh,
It'd
it's
be
so
great to
easy.
just
It's
water.
so easy, man. I literally have a 5-gallon water jug and I just pour it in until I think it's good and then I walk away.
He said,
Here's here's my worm bin. There's my worms. And I just fucking add all my
"Go there."
bananas and carrots and apple peels and you name it. Put it in the bin, bury it. You dig a little hole, you bury it, you come back in a week, it disappeared into the soil. But now if you dig into that soil in here, it's just rich.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
smells great.
oh, and
Yeah.
it smells like a forest.
Yep.
It smells
Oh,
like a forest, and it's just full of worms and life.
Yep.
And
You,
if I
that's
want,
beautiful
are
stuff.
any of them eating anything right now?
huh?
Are any of them eating anything?
Oh yeah, I put stuff in here all the time.
Like you know how like if you put something in an area, they'll crowd around it and shit.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's pretty dim in here. And then I got the 5x3 rocking. We're in about week 4 of flowering
Damn,
now.
man, you fucking growing shit. Woo!
got the 5x3. This is 2 Dos Scotty Wilsons and 2 Justinas. These are in 30 gallons too.
The
These
hell?
are in 230 gallons.
Are
Nice.
that 2 plants in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 plants,
30
1
gallon.
pot. It's
Yeah,
my
that's
corn oaks.
crazy.
It's two plants, 1 pot.
That's the way to go.
2 chicks, 1 pot.
I
Hey, do you
like
have
that.
So what I did is I cut my veg time by a week by doing that, because I had extra cuttings, and since they're the same clone or the same cutting, they won't compete in there. They'll think that they're the same plant.
Oh man, beautiful.
And then since I don't let them outgrow the 30 gallons of soil, they're just on their own, and then I don't have to do anything.
do a stem
I,
row?
Bro,
I
that's
literally
some
do
impressive
nothing.
shit. That's some impressive shit. Look at us in just water.
Wait till you see the end of flower.
Oh, I gotta
Yeah.
step. I gotta step it up.
So that's those ones, and then my final. This is my other tester tent / breeding tent. Right now we're doing testing. We're not breeding nothing because I got to find some new moms.
Great water.
But I think I found a new
Right.
mom here. This is the strawberry cough. She smells very strawberry hazy.
Ooh.
Strawberry cough.
Yeah,
Look at that motherfucker.
this one's really nice. She's got beautiful color in her too. She's got pinks. Underside of the bud. I wonder what the inside.
Now
of the
you know
bud-
that strawberry cough.
And it's super dense. Super dense bud.
All the way through.
Oh, look at it. I'm sure it is. Man, look at that shit. Is it done?
No, it's got 2-3 weeks. I'm gonna let her rock. And then all I'm gonna do with these is cut the top cola off, and then I'm gonna re-veg the bottom so I can get cuttings. Here's
I like it.
here's the dead hot strawberry to sugarcane. She
Hey,
got a little hungry on me, but I transplanted it actually in week 3 of flower. So it's coming around now, but it's a little light green. I don't like them. It's slightly hungry, but she's still pulling hard.
Hell yeah.
Dude, look at that mother. That's magazine. That's magazine weed. That's like display shit. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
This tent smells amazing right now.
Told you we got that fire.
Bro,
And,
that's the.
here's Mr. Spliff gear right here. Super big buds. 5 gallon. This is water only, but this is in a 5. And yeah, these were flipped super quick, but look at how big they got. When I flipped them, they were only this high. And that's
Wow.
Took off.
These ones aren't as frosty, but if the bud itself is frosty, it's just the frost doesn't extend out onto the leaves and shit like I like to see.
Man, that thing is fucking stacked up, man.
Probably rolling a little bit.
That's a big bud right there. That's a fucking half-ounce cola.
What's your
That's water only, living soil, no nutrients, no CO2, no fucking anything. Just a dehumidifier, some Chinese LEDs, and really good soil. And there's the smaller version of it in the back. So I got 4 in here right now. Under a
Shout out to you, Super
240.
Turkey.
This is a 240 watt, $200 light. I'm running it at 70%.
Nice.
It's like 2.5 feet away from the plants, and that's all they need. So
Nice.
this is like costing me nothing to grow these plants.
Fire.
So
Dude,
I can sell
that's-
the rock, but I think I'm keeping the strawberry cough. She smells amazing. I'm loving it, and I'm liking the size of the buds.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a tent full of this shit.
That's beautiful. Those buds, they look like they weigh something. So
Oh,
fat
yeah.
that motherfucker is.
Super dense.
Listen, that's solid all the way through, dude. Look at it.
Yeah.
That's a big bud too. Like fuck, it's a fair size.
You see, he's keeping his humidity low. He can get fat ass buds like that. Doesn't have to worry about rot or anything like that.
What's your humidity at? 36? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, end of flower, man.
That's
Keep her
low.
fat.
Yeah. But look how great they look.
They're beautiful.
The
And they're
biggest
praying.
factor to getting good flour is the soil.
Yep.
What are they eating? What are they feeding on? Just like you. What are you eating? What are you feeding on? And what's your water supply? As long as your water's clean and your food's clean, you're going to get clean genetics. And that's what you're seeing here. Look at the vigor in this plant. It's
Yeah.
almost dead and it's still vigorous. You see that vigor?
Cost efficiency. That's right.
Praying, man.
They're beautiful, man. They are something to look at. I'm telling you. They've already. I would have.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. The cheapest, best regenerative fucking way to grow, you know?
That's how I like to grow.
That's all I want to do. Super cheap.
I'm cheap in real life too. Like
This
actual
this
homies.
tent this tent's old. I got holes in the tent, so I get light leaks in the tent, so I can tell if my genetics are gonna harm or not. But when
Yeah,
your
but
plants are healthy and happy soil and the microbe life isn't spiking and doing weird shit, they don't need anything and they're not stressed out. These plants in here, they're not stressed out. They're just living their lives.
so
Yeah.
great. They're
Perfect.
the soil is feeding the freaking plants, man. They
And
ain't
I
even
just
using
got
no nutrients.
I got a 240 watt Mars Hydro old ass light in here running at about 80%. So I
Oh
got
man,
about
you're the
200
truth.
watts.
You're
200
the
watts growing this whole fucking 5x3. Plus a little 70 watt blower and a 25 watt fan times 2. And that's all that's growing these. And I'm planning on getting at least a half a pound from each side. So a pound,
oh,
200 watts of light. That's good enough for me. I want to see
yeah.
someone else getting those numbers doing the minimal effort like me, and I'll talk to you. Because this is the best way I found to grow. You can get high, and then I'm never cleaning buckets. Those buckets never need to be scrubbed. I'm not doing any of that hydroponic fucking shit where you're always cleaning. I just clean the tent and vacuum it out and wipe it down with a vinegar rag, and you're done. Go again.
Jesus
So
has been
so easy. But yeah, that's
bravo.
my way of growing. I know everybody has their way, but I'm not trying to brag. I've found the easiest way.
Dude,
That's
you're going in our reels. You better believe that. Get used to seeing yourself. You just showed out. Shout out to you. That was
yeah.
powerful. Dude, listen. I've got to get off of here, guys. You know that, right? And I don't want to. I'm wide the fuck awake. But I gotta go spend some time with the missus. But tomorrow, I will go back live. I will not go live in the morning. I will reschedule with Dr. Fogg, Fogg, and I will go live again during our time, whatever you want next, if you down,
Facts, yeah.
and
I'm
we
down.
will come back and get back on this if you want. All right.
Yeah, let's get it.
It was, but what is it? Is this company Lone Wolf Genetics?
Yeah, he's a lone wolf.
That's fucking crazy. The name alone is crazy. Listen, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube and I'm gonna chop this up tonight. I'm gonna get some reels out. We're gonna start this off right in the morning, boys. Yo,
All right.
thank you.
Have a good
Thank you
night.
for coming. You too, y'all.
Definitely.
Peace.
Peace.
We got the London truffles and that white nightmare. Got that Canna Bros wanna.
Yeah.
Man, what you hear?
Shout out to What's Up Buzz 2023.
Man, what you hear?
Yeah. Alright.
Man, what you hear?
Let me warm up.
Man, what you hear?
Canna Brothers got a new strain ho. Passport boys with the bankroll. I can make the blood stack like Legos. Smoking don't diamond, but it look like yayo.